welcome back to my channel. My name's Helen and today I'm doing the announcement for the February Eurovisionathon book club choice for Lithuania. So that choice is The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. I hope I'm getting that right. The book looks like it's set in Madrid, but the author is Lithuanian, so that's why it's been chosen for this. Excuse the hood, I've just got out the bath and my hair is wet. So to tell you a bit about the book, it says, Daniel, young, wealthy and unsure of his place in the world, views the city through the lens of his camera. This is set in Madrid in 1957, by the way. My camera may go because Treacle is just about to step up behind it. Anna, a hotel maid whose family is suffering under the fascist dictatorship of General Franco. Lives and hearts collide as they unite to uncover the hidden darkness within the city, a darkness that could engulf them. Master storyteller Ruta Sepetys once again shines light into one of history's darkest corners in this epic, heart-wrenching novel about identity, uncomfortable love, and the hidden violence of silence. It says it's a haunting and romantic novel set in post-war Spain. And the author is the winner of the Carnegie Medal 2017. Like I say, she's Lithuanian, that's why it's been chosen for this month. Hopefully I will get round to reading this one. However, I didn't get round to reading I didn't get round to reading the Ukraine book, which was The Sisters of the Winterwood, and I didn't get round to reading The September Girls, which was for Malta. However, the beauty of the Eurovisionathon book club is that Eurovisionathon will be happening, the readathon will be happening from mid-April to mid-May. You're trying to cover all the countries, and so those countries, Ukraine, Lithuania and Malta, I now have choices for those countries if I wanted to read that. So that's where I'm up to with that. I know I haven't been on here for a while. I haven't felt like filming, and I think that's because I've been in quite a reading slump. I've started a new job in work. Well, I'm temporarily a manager for 3 months in libraries that I'm not used to working at, so my mental capacity has been taken up a lot by just constantly thinking about the job, learning new things, and kind of everything to do with work. So I haven't read as much, I've not really been in the mental space for that, and so when I am not in work, I'm trying to read, but I'm trying to just relax because my brain is constantly switched on. February, I'm not going to be doing any readathons, just like I did in January. I think the next readathon I am going to do is going to be Eurovisionathon. So I'm going to try and give my all to that one, in the hopes that because I haven't done any for a while, then that will spur me on. You know, I like to take part in the Royal Readathon. I've done that many. I think I've only ever missed one of those. But I just think, for me, when I'm making myself a pile of books and saying you have to read them, it's not working for me now like it used to. So in terms of where I'm up to with reading, I've just finished The Toll by Neil Shusterman. I was so excited to have finished that series. I loved it. I didn't like The Toll as much as I liked Scythe. I think Thunderhead and The Toll were pretty similar for me, and then Scythe was like 5 stars, whereas the other two were just 4 stars. For anybody, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but part of the Toll one talks about space and people going out into space. And for people who know me and have seen my channel for a long time, space freaks me out. Anything to do with space, so people going up in rockets. So when they talk about people going up and living on Mars and things like that, that just freaks me out, and I don't know why. I tried to have a think about why that might be. I remember watching the E.T. when I was younger, and that I have not watched that since I was a little girl because that freaked me out. And I remember watching the Santa Claus movie with where Nigel Lithgow is the baddie and he eats all the candy canes that make you fly, and then he just flies off into space and then just carries on flying around space for the rest of eternity. and just the thought of that, of even like an astronaut becoming untethered from the spaceship and just floating around in space forever, just totally freaks me out. So yeah, I did enjoy this series, but that aspect of it, yeah, that hasn't gone. I'm still freaked out by space. And so there's that one. So I've just finished that, and I'm glad to finish that now because the read along for the Scythe series, I took part in two. So Becca Fowle and Ashley and Rachel did one a read along of the Scythe series, and I managed to read the first two books and read that alongside them. And they had a massive space. I just didn't get time to read the third one. And then the last to read book club, which is run by Mel and Ellie and Lana, they have also been reading the Scythe series, but they were finishing the Toll this month, and they're talking about it on February the 6th. So I'm made up because I can join in still in a discussion about that. But I can also go back and watch Becca and Ashley and Rachel. I can go back and watch that show now and see their thoughts as well. So that's everybody's a winner with that. So that's the Scythe series. I know I'm not doing well with reading because I normally average about 12 to 15 books a month, and I haven't even touched anywhere near that. And quite a couple that I've read this month have been books with Sophie as well, like children's books. But I am in the middle of Surrounded by Bad Bosses and Lazy Employees, or How to Deal with Idiots at Work. Nothing in relation to my work. It's just this series. There's a series of these non-fiction books by Thomas Erickson. I just love the titles. The first one was Surrounded by Idiots, and that was really interesting. I love anything to do with like looking at people's behaviour and how they fit into categories. And I know everybody doesn't fit in a box, but it's quite handy. Just in people management, and just not in relation to work, but just people in general. I'm fascinated about how different people tick and how they work together. So I read that one, and then there's another one called Surrounded by Psychopaths. I don't know if I've finished that one or whether I just didn't find it as interesting. And then there's this one, so I don't know if he's got any others coming out, but yeah, it's this book isn't just about, it's about things that work in management and things that don't, and then it's the same for if you're an employee and how you relate to your manager and stuff like that. I just found it dead interesting. I've had it out from the library for ages, even before I started in this management role, and just now is the time that I just thought, oh, do you know what, I just want something after finishing Scythe, and it's quite a thick book. I just find non-fiction quite easy to read a lot of the time, depending on what it is. And so yeah, these just make me laugh sometimes because of the titles and the things they talk about. But yeah, still interesting. So that's going to be definitely a February book. This is kind of going into my February TBR now. At some point, I think it was just after Christmas, yeah, a couple of weeks after Christmas, I went to Waterstones and got this book for half price. It's called Give, Charity and the Art of Living Generously. It's by Magnus McFarlane Barrow, and it says one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people and CNN hero. And when I read the back, I just thought, oh my gorgeous, that cover. I just thought that sounded right up my alley. It says, few people in the world are better placed to understand the role of charity and generosity than Magnus McFarlane Barrow. As the founder and CEO of Mary's Meals, Magnus helps feed and educate millions of children in 18 different countries across the world every year. In a time when some charitable organisations have been rocked by scandal and many are questioning their effectiveness in the modern age, Give takes us on an epic journey to rediscover the beauty and transformative power of authentic charity. Powerful and inspiring, Give celebrates the impact of charity in all our lives, illustrating how the act of sharing and even sacrifice is the key to a life of joy. So that's definitely one I want to read this month. So I think February is going to be finishing Surrounded by Bad Bosses, starting on Give, and then I'm also reading, and I'll see if I can find it quick enough on my tablet to describe it for those who haven't heard of it before. I'm also buddy reading Foundling by Stacey Hall with Mel from a book fiend named Mel. So let me see if quickly it'll let me find it. London, 1754. 6 years after leaving her illegitimate daughter Clara at London's family hospital, Bess Sprite returns to reclaim the child she's never known. Dreading the worst, that Clara's died in care, Bess is astonished to be told that she's already claimed her. Life is turned upside down as she tries to find out who has taken her little girl and why. Less than a mile from Bess's lodgings in the city, in a quiet, gloomy townhouse on the edge of London, a young widow has not left the house in a decade. When her close friend and ambitious young doctor at the Foundling Hospital was persuaded to hire a nursemaid for her daughter. She's hesitant to welcome someone new into her home and her life, but her past is threatening to catch up with her and tear her carefully constructed world apart. From the best-selling author of The Familiars comes this captivating story of mothers and daughters, class and power, and love against the great odds. So that's that one. Next month I am buddy reading Sense and Sensibility with Ellie from Earl Grey Books and with Jessica from The Lady Lovestead. So I have got a few things coming up. Part of me wondered whether to stop filming on my channel altogether, just because I'm not feeling motivated at the minute, but I enjoyed it up till now, so I don't want to give it in altogether. And I really enjoy being part of the community. I've made lots of friends, and I know those friendships wouldn't go altogether because I still can't stay in contact with people through Twitter and things like that. But I still just like being part of the community, so yeah. So that's the announcement for Eurovisionathon Book Club. I think either this month or next month is going to be the last Eurovisionathon Book Club for a few months, because I want to then concentrate on the actual readathon itself, and then may resurrect's the wrong word, but restart it again in June. We'll see how it goes. So there's that. My TBR, like I said, finishing Surrounded by Bad Bosses. Maybe reading Give, and definitely reading Foundling with Mel as a buddy read. Anything besides that is just a bonus. It's my birthday month in February, so I may treat myself to some books. I actually treated myself yesterday off my wish list to The Accidental Influencer, which is about, I think it's actually a true story, in that there's a woman who accidentally became an influencer on Instagram or Twitter or something like that, and I think like she's known as something else now as part of this. I think she was trying to prove, let me find it. This is another one. I'm going to try and find it, because I got it because it was £3.50 on Amazon, and it was on my wish list, and I thought, well, I'm not leaving it there for that. So let me see if I can find Accidental Influencer. So that's probably what I'm going to read this month, and like I say, I've treated myself to it for my birthday because I have hardly bought any books recently. Give was one of the only ones that I've bought recently, so I might go through my wish list again and pick out a couple more that I want. But I'm really trying so hard to read the ones that I've got on my list already. Let's see. I thought I could have lots of followers without needing followers. I thought I could monetize my account without selling out. I thought that I was different, that I wasn't like other girls, but I was, and that's why I had to stop. When Bella Young spawned Deliciously Stella, her hilarious and daring social media alter ego, she wanted to prove once and for all that Instagram does not equal reality. Within weeks, she'd gone viral and begun her very own influencer life. Shoot, post, repeat. In 2016, Bella gained 75,000 followers overnight and hundreds of likes a minute. Soon she was being paid thousands of pounds to beat up a cake for the gram, attend ludicrously lavish influencer gifting events, and was dropping emoji bombs left, right and centre. But even as the constant rush of notifications fueled her endorphins, life among the Insta famous began to take a toll. As Bella's curvy presence flourished online, her health began to spiral offline, culminating in a stint at the Priory for social media addiction. Wow. Should she have undertaken a month-long run of stand-up comedy immediately after she was discharged? Probably not. But the pressure to be on and online was all-consuming, and she had followers to please after all. Funny, frank and fearless, The Accidental Influencer is a relatable story of the precarious balancing act between our online and offline selves, and the truth behind the stage shots, SponCon, and the coveted but ever elusive blue tick. So yeah, that's by Bella Younger, and it is true because Bella is the name of the person in the book as well. It said, how my need to get likes nearly ruined my life. So I just thought that sounded really interesting. Like I say, it was on my wish list and I've treated myself to it. So yeah, that's another one I'm probably going to read this month as well. That's not really working with that. I want to read the books on my shelves, but hey ho. So yeah, they're the plans for a Eurovisionathon Book Club, my February TBR, any buddy reads that I've got coming up. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But hopefully it won't be too long before I speak to you again. I'm not going to do any wrap-ups, I don't think, for now. Don't think I did one for October, November, or December. If you would like to see what I've been reading, just follow me on Goodreads. I'll link it below because I keep that up to date with every book that I read. I've set my goal for 100 books this year rather than, I think 2020 I read 181. I think last year I read 160 odd. Just I think I overdid it, and so I'm going for 100 this time. But yeah, let me know what you're reading. Let me know if you've got any buddy reads that you'd like to do with me. I'm going to spread them out throughout the year though. Although I did enjoy reading The Book Woman of Troublesome Creek with Bookara. Um, that was one that she'd asked me to suggest one for her. I think it was for a booktube anniversary, and I'd seen that we both wanted to read it. I had to apologise to her because, well, I didn't. She told me not to worry about it, but we'd said we were buddy reading it, and I was really slow with it, and that's why I'm in a real slump at the minute. I'm struggling, but I'm glad I read it. It was really interesting and very moving. So if you like books about books and librarians and things like that, this is about a pack horse library. In America in a really small like backwater place, and it was really good. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I will speak soon. Bye.